Welcome back to Asia Now. In this video, I'll tell you about two Israelis arrested in the Philippines, find out why. Another kidnapping fail in the Philippines, this time 11 people arrested. A 65-year-old British man escapes 4 trans escorts after a dispute regarding services, and more. Let's just dive straight into our main topic. But first, I want to say a couple people mentioned they haven't been receiving notifications for the channel. So if you want to not miss out on anything, see, I can't even get through my own first 2 sentences. If you want to be sure that you receive all the videos up to date when I release them, please hit that subscribe button and that like button. No. Well, you can do that too, but turn on bell notification. 2 Israelis and 7 Filipinos were arrested in Angela City, Pampanga for allegedly running a Forex trading scam. Authorities caught them operating inside an apartment with rows of computers during a Bureau of Immigration raid. Officials said the group had also gone viral in Cebu after the CCTV was hacked, exposing their scam activity. The scheme involved luring victims, mostly abroad, by offering Forex trading memberships or mentorship. Once hooked, victims received links or malware that would scammers hack their bank accounts. Wow. Some victims were even convinced to reinvest after being defrauded. The Bureau of Immigration is coordinating with the PNP anti-cybercrime group as well as Canadian and Australian authorities. Since victims were also reported in those countries, the suspects are now detained at the BI facility. Okay, so 2 Israelis leading the way when it comes to scamming people all across the world. Apparently, I'm surprised it's the same people that were in that CCTV footage hack that went viral a couple months ago, where that guy hacked into the computer in Cebu. They said, oh, nobody's scamming here, and then they basically shut the whole thing down and took all the computers. I guess they escaped. Now they caught some of them. There's so many of this stuff going on daily, but I thought this was interesting. So this time it was 2 Israeli nationals committing the crime. Usually it's Chinese or other nationalities, but I guess scamming's got no limits. Next up, a 78-year-old Filipino-Chinese businesswoman was rescued on September 11th after being kidnapped in Quezon City on September 2nd and held for 150 million pesos ransom. Police said the suspects, including ex-military personnel, took her to a Quezon City bank to withdraw 8.1 million pesos. Alert bank staff quickly called 911 and officers arrived within 2 minutes, arresting 3 kidnappers and freeing the victim. Follow-up operation led to the arrest of 8 more suspects. The same day, the victim, found in good health but undergoing psychological counseling, had been held in Batangas safe house. Authorities are filing kidnapping for ransom charges and investigating the masterminds. Ooh, 78 years old. There's, I assume, so much more to the story that was not in the article, but another situation where just for being a successful business person, you may be targeted by your fellow countrymen or those that just basically are paid to do a certain job. A lot of these cases are Chinese on Chinese crime. I want to make that very clear. Although assistance from local, they basically pay, local criminals to go ahead and commit these crimes, but the mastermind, the people orchestrating and targeting these individuals, are mostly Chinese. Let's go to Thailand. Check this out. A 65-year-old British man, Duncan Hamish Kirkwood, was attacked inside a South Pattaya condo after a confrontation with 4 trans escorts. The dispute started when Kirkwood declined their services and refused to pay the 40,000 baht they demanded, so about 1,200 bucks. Once one of the 1,300 maybe, one of the suspects slashed him on the head with a knife, leaving him, you guys know what I'm talking about, leaving him oozing out from his head, and he managed to escape and alert security. Rescue workers rushed him to the hospital while the assailants fled the scene. Police are now reviewing CCTV footage from the building to identify and capture the suspects. Once again, gentlemen, if you've never been to Thailand or the Philippines, mainly Thailand, these are still men dressed as women. They're still very aggressive. Thailand is very progressive when it comes to these cosmetic surgeries. They can make them look really feminine, but one look from me, at least I could tell one from like a mile away. These are real dudes with real dude strength, and they're aggressive, and they are very, very physical, even if you don't want their services. Plus, like 1,200 for, I guess it's 4 of them. Still kind of overpriced. You know what? They should pay me. If you're gonna try to touch me as a man dressed as a woman, you gotta pay me, lady or man. And then quickly, United Airlines said on Friday that 2 people had sustained minor injuries after a flight heading from Tokyo to Cebu in the Philippines made an emergency landing over concerns of a potential fire in the cargo. Another day, another man being caught trying to film women wearing skirts Listen to this. A 21-year-old man was hospitalized in critical condition after jumping from a fourth-floor Central Westgate Mall in Ngatamburi, Thailand. The incident happened when the mall security intervened after he was caught secretly recording a woman. While being questioned, he attempted to escape and fell, leaving bystanders in shock. Authorities confirmed he was taken to the hospital for treatment. This man was using an iPad to do his crime. Once the security saw him, he threw over the backpack and just took a dive like Superman, bro. Come on. Fourth, that's a long way to go down, man. Where's your sense of, what's that thing I'm looking for? Depth? Staying in Bangkok, police in Bangkok responded to a bomb scare on September 12th after a man was spotted wearing a vest that looked like it contained explosives. Authorities quickly located the 60-year-old man in Bang Bang district and discovered the vest was filled with sandbags used for exercise, not explosive. He explained it was part of his daily fitness routine to add weight during walks. Locals confirmed he was well known for this practice. Officials praised the public for reporting the suspicious activity, but clarified there's no threat. The man apologized for the misunderstanding and was allowed to go on his way. Maybe consider switching up that design, bro. It looks like, yeah, you carrying some stuff that you shouldn't be. Make it like one big piece, big old bra stuffed with sand or something. And then Egyptian smugglers were intercepted at Suvarnabhumi, Bangkok airport with 187 live endangered Egyptian tortoises in baggage bound for Laos on Thursday. That's a lot of turtles. I'm always left scratching my head. Like, how does this happen? How does somebody get with somebody else and say, hey man, let's take 200 live tortoises internationally from Egypt to Laos? What are you thinking, bro? Somebody's gonna catch you along the way. Also, like, I guess tortoises don't always need water, right? Wonder how long they can survive on land permanently. I have zero knowledge when it comes to those little shelled things. Tortoises. What's the difference? Big and small, right? In other news, Brazilian Supreme Court sentenced ex-President Jair Bolsonaro to 27 years in prison for attempting a coup after losing the 2022 election. He is under house arrest, plans to appeal, and is already barred from office until 2030. The ruling divided Brazilians, with supporters calling it persecution, while critics see it as protecting democracy. Kind of weird to have him barred from politics less than the sentence in prison. How does that work? Unless he was barred previously and then the sentence came afterwards. That probably is what happened. Let's end on a positive note. The number of people aged 100 years old or older in Japan has hit a record high, nearly 100,000, with almost 90% of them being women. Hey-oh, this is well known by now. Women outlive men. I wonder why. Y'all stress us out too much. This is one thing I noticed that was true. I spent about 2 months in Japan recently, and one thing I noticed everywhere, about 5 or 6 different cities I was in, seniors are like everywhere doing things. Like, they're not just like existing. I find that a lot of Japanese seniors that I saw were always active, either gardening, like just walking around, biking. They seem to be doing things. It wasn't just like, hey, look at me, I'm living at this age. No, they were actually active, doing things. I've seen them just like doing stuff that I would never be able to do at that age. I'm sure 100% know my health. So it's really nice to see that some people around the world are still healthy as the rest of us getting bigger and bigger. And now it's time for our segment Yesterday Today, where I read some of the most popular comments regarding our previous video, beginning with Robert Cole, a big supporter of the channel. Whoa! 7 cops performing a kidnapping that's going to make a big black eye on the system. I have a feeling the entire department will be replaced. A follow-up on this story would be cool. I personally don't think so, to be honest. Just the way, this is just one story that I cover. A lot of these stories are involving ex-cops or current police officers. They usually get dismissed or just assigned to a different thing. I hope you're right, but I doubt the whole thing's gonna get replaced. But you never know. Hopefully this recent wave of anti-corruption in the Philippines has a positive impact on this story as well. Landmine says, sounds to me the officers and the guy was involved in some illegal activities that went wrong at some point. I think that's very likely, and I think that's probably why the police crew felt confident in doing this, because they assumed that the guy would not report them since he's also involved in some kind of criminal activity, but that's just my assumption. And lastly, David Bryant says 7 police officers should be in prison very soon for corruption. And that is it for today. Nice and toit, nothing too significant really going on regarding things that impact expats, foreigners living in the Philippines, visiting, traveling. Leave your thoughts down below regarding any of the stories I covered today. I'd love to hear from you. See you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Bye. At the BI facility in Butuan, what the hell? Bikutan, Baikutan, Bukitnan, in some facility. Tortoises?